Hello. I would like to do a quick recap on a fantastic movie that has made over $2,799,000,000 worldwide. This movie starts as a continuation of the Infinity War. The Avenger vs. Thanos continues. Prepare yourself for The Avengers Endgame. The movie starts with
Clint Barton is shown in beginning teaching his daughter how to shoot an arrow, while his wife prepares a picnic meal for them on their remote property. The effect of Thanos snapping his fingers, after obtaining all 6 Infinity Stones, was the cause of Clint's daughter vanishing, along with the rest of his family, and half of all life in the universe. After being defeated by Thanos on Titan, Nebula and Tony Stark are left stranded in space. Fortunately, Carol Danvers found them stranded in space and brought them back to Earth, where they reunited with Natasha Romanoff, Steve Rogers, Bruce Banner, Rocket, Thor, and James Rhodes. The gang devises a plot to kidnap the Infinity Stones from Thanos and use it to return everyone that was affected by the stones. But upon finding Thanos, they discover that he had already destroyed the stones, prohibiting their further usage. He explains to the remaining Avengers that he destroyed the stones to prevent any other evil plans. At that moment, engulfed with rage, Thor beheaded Thanos, announcing that he should have done it in Wakanda. While Romanoff is continuously maintaining watch over both Earth and the rest of the cosmos with the assistance of Rhodes, Danvers, and Nebula, Rogers has been leading grief counseling sessions for survivors still dealing with the aftermaths. Scott Lang leaves the quantum realm 5 years later, and returned to find that Cassie is now a teenager, and that Hope Van Dyne, along with half the population, had also vanished by Thanos' finger snapped. Lang goes to Romanoff and Rogers, and explains that although it had been 5 years for them, it had only been 5 hours for him, and that time stretched very differently in the quantum realm. The three visited Stark, who is now co-parenting a child with Pepper Potts, and expressed their hypothesis that the Infinity Stones can be stolen from Thanos before he can collect them, by using the quantum realm to travel back in time. The remaining Avengers, with Stark on board, set out to reassemble the team. Bruce Banner and the Hulk have fused into a single consciousness. Romanoff, after hearing about an assassin with the same characteristics as Barton, searched around the globe, and Natasha eventually finds Barton in Japan, where he was taking down criminal cartels and violent gangs. She tells him of their plans, and after many persuasions, he agrees to join. Banner and Rocket travel to the hamlet of New Asgard, which is home to Valkyrie and the final Asgardian survivors. Thor is discovered by them there, overcome with guilt for failing to slay Thanos in Wakanda. Thor plays Fortnite with his friends Korg and Miek, eats fast food, drinks alcohol, and has grown his hair and beard out. He has also gained weight recently. After being persuaded by Rocket and Banner, Thor reluctantly decides to rejoin the Avengers. The Avengers are reunited with a plan. When Barton tests the quantum time machine and confirms that it is functional, Banner, Rogers, Lang, and Stark set out to retrieve the time, mind, and space stones from their battle in New York of year 2012. When Banner visits the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Ancient One informs him that removing the Time Stone from her timeline will thwart Stephen Strange's future attempts to stop Caecilius from violating the natural laws. But when Banner informs her that Strange willingly surrendered the Time Stone to Thanos, she lets Banner keep it, suggesting that Strange had meant for a particular series of events to take place, in order for Thanos to be vanquished. In order to avoid any negative repercussions, Banner further pledges that the stones will be returned to their correct timelines. After the Avengers in year 2012 have rescued the Space Stone from Loki, Lang and Stark launch an attempt to steal it. While Stark steals the briefcase containing the Tesseract when no one is looking, Lang causes Stark's former self to have a mild cardiac collapse, by tampering with the circuit in his prosthetic heart. Unfortunately, Stark drops the briefcase after getting hit by the Hulk unintentionally, derailing their plan. Loki then takes the Space Stone and uses it to escape from the authorities. In spite of his success in taking the Mind Stone from undercover Hydra agents, Rogers runs into his former self, who believes he is a disguised Loki. Before Malekith uses the Reality Stone against the Nine Realms, Rocket and Thor journey to Asgard to retrieve it. As Rocket steals the ether, the Reality Stone in vapor form, From Jane Foster. Thor is reminded that his mother, Frigga, would soon pass away, and that Thor has a chance to see her. After Thor receives advice from Frigga and retrieves his hammer Mjolnir, thrilled to learn that he is still deserving of it, they traveled back to Earth. In order to steal the Power Stone, before Peter Quill does, Nebula and Rhodes journey to Morag. With the help of the Power Stone, Rhodes travels back in time, but Nebula malfunctions and stays on Morag. Thanos and Ebony Maw learn that future Nebula has two consciousnesses acting on Nebula's systems, so they set out to capture her. While Nebula attempted to tell the others after realizing what has happened, Nebula was already too late. After scanning her memories and learning about the Avengers' strategy, Thanos sends the loyal past Nebula to the present time as a spy for him. After fighting past Steve, Rogers reunites with Stark and Lang, who now have to develop a different plan to obtain the Space Stone, without using up the Pym particles that are required to allow them to enter the quantum world. While Rogers and Stark prepare to take the Space Stone from the US Army installation in the 1970s, and also stealing additional Pym particles to complete their journey back home, Lang returns to the present with the Mind Stone. Meanwhile, Rogers sees Peggy Carter, and Stark was having a deep conversation with his father, Howard. When Red Skull, the Stone's guardian, tells Barton and Natasha Romanoff that they must sacrifice a loved one in order to obtain the stone, they become conflicted and decide not to go to Vormir. Romanoff ultimately bears the burden of the sacrifice after a struggle between the two, and a sad Barton returns to Earth with the Soul Stone. After everyone had returned to the present on Earth, using the same nanotechnology as Stark's most recent Iron Man armor, Banner, Rocket, and Stark set out to create a gauntlet to hold the stones. Because Banner believes he can survive both the gamma radiation and the severe agony and injury caused by using the stones, he volunteered to use the gauntlet to bring everyone back that was affected by Thanos' finger snap. He succeeds, but was attacked by Thanos, who was brought to Earth by the imposter Nebula. As a result, shattering the quantum portal in the process. When Thanos destroys the Avengers headquarters, the squad was split up, and the gauntlet ends up under Barton's guard. While Rogers, Thor, and Stark confront Thanos, who determines he will use the Infinity Stones to destroy the universe, and construct a new one in his vision, the future Nebula kills the past Nebula as she tries to steal the Infinity Stones from Barton. The three engage in a one-on-one battle with Thanos, with Rogers supporting Thor's hypothesis that he is capable of using Mjolnir, but they are all defeated by Thanos. T'Challa makes an appearance before Rogers shortly after Thanos' army arrives on Earth, along with all of the Avengers and other allies Banner has brought back, before leading an attack against Thanos and his army. After an extended battle in which Quill and previous Gamora are reunited, Stark and Parker are reunited as well. Thanos engages in a struggle with the Avengers for the Infinity Stones. Thanos commands Glaive to have his ship launch numerous energy blasts, while he is chained by Wanda Maximoff's energies, the blasts nearly destroying the Avengers' efforts. Returning, Captain Marvel destroys Thanos' spacecraft while battling for possession of the gauntlet. Stark successfully transfers the Infinity Stones from Thanos' hand to his own, using the nanotechnology from the new gauntlet, then proclaiming proudly, "I am Iron Man," and then uses it to turn Thanos and his whole army into ashes. Stark is comforted by Parker and Potts, as he passes away due to the stone's radioactive exposure. The Avengers hold Stark's burial after the battle, floating his Mark I arc reactor out on the nearby lake. The fact that Romanoff and Vision, who were absent during the snap, would be happy with their defeat of Thanos, gives Barton and Wanda Maximoff some comfort. Thor, for the first time, is free of the burden of royalty and leadership, crowns Valkyrie the Queen of Asgard and joins the Guardians of the Galaxy. In order to discover his real calling, Rogers is entrusted with traveling into the past to return the stones and Thor's hammer to their original timelines. As an elderly man, he emerges in front of Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes and hands Wilson his shield and the cape of Captain America. The movie ends with a brief flashback, where Rogers and Carter can be seen in their living room, sharing the dance they always wanted to do, with a sense of happiness. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and click the notification bell for more movies highlights and recap. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you.